Mr. Chairman and members, my name is Jack Gullahorn. I represent the Professional Advocacy Association of Texas. Thanks for the time. I'll try to get my comments in the 3 minutes, but I may not be quite as adroit as Mr. McDonald. The purpose that I'm here today is to really offer a response to the letter that was released by Commissioner Clancy calling for a moratorium on enforcement of the laws under the Commission's jurisdiction. Particularly, my concern is enforcement of the lobby laws. Our organization believes that what we have is, frankly, as Mr. McDonald was saying, is a problem, and it's a problem for all of us. It's a problem for the legislature, it's a problem for the Commission, it's a problem for the regulated community, and frankly, it's a problem for the public. And I believe that to solve it, each of us has to do our part. As you may be aware, and I just gave you another copy of it, our organization called on the legislature last week to change the law with regard to the standard of appellate review for lobby law cases, for cases that arise under 305 to be substantial evidence. So let me tell you, that's not an overly popular decision among everybody in the lobby world, and I recognize that it's always easier to ask the legislature to do something than quite often it is for the legislature to do something. But we believe that us taking that stand is just part of the process of moving the ball forward with regard to the lobby law, so that complaints involving our profession will have the opportunity to reach actual resolution. I have no illusion at all that the rest of what I have to say won't make a lot of people unhappy, present company possibly included, but we're all at a point where the public has very little confidence in this system or in the ethical fiber of all of us that are engaged in it, and I believe that we have to, from our standpoint, have to try to change that perception. And I'm here because I'm asking you to do some stuff as the Commission to be part of that solution, and to encourage you to do things that you can do as a Commission to possibly enhance the effectiveness of enforcement, even if the legislature decides not to act. So please don't read my suggestions as criticism, but I believe that the Commission on your own can start to do some things that will enhance the clarity of the laws and regulation under which we live in the lobby world and the enforcement of those laws. First, I believe that you should exercise the option you have under the current law to refer serious matters requiring a formal hearing to SOA, to the State Office of Administrative Hearings. Your Rule 12117 says that you shall decide once you order a formal hearing whether to go to SOA. My suggestion is do it. Let's get past the arguments that criticize you for a process that you really don't have to own. So I'm recommending that you take lobby cases and send them to SOA once they reach a formal hearing standpoint. Secondly, you've got the ability to up the ante on consequences if you choose to do it for people that ignore the law on registration. As you know, I'm a broken record about all of this stuff because I don't think that the attention, and to some degree, Chairman Hobby, it's what you were saying that Mr. McDonald was quoting, and to some extent what I think he was saying, that the attention, perhaps that last part's not right, but the attention should be put on people that not people that are trying to follow the law and make mistakes, but the attention should be put on people who choose not to follow the law, not to register, and not to report. 571171 gives you the authority to initiate complaints on your own and to refer matters to prosecutors. Failure to register under the lobby law, as is everything else under the lobby law with the exception of one felony and one other provision, is a Class A misdemeanor. It's a serious matter to deal with from a criminal perspective. The same section of the law says that your executive director can refer matters to prosecutors if she thinks that a person has violated Chapter 36 or 39 of the Penal Code. So basically, if someone fails to register and makes an expenditure, then the exceptions that are found in 3610 to the gifts to public servants don't apply because it wasn't something that was made and reported in accordance with the law. So it's a problem not only for the person that made it, criminal problem, and it's a problem for the person that accepted it, which I think a lot of the legislators probably don't appreciate in the context of understanding. So I would just suggest that upping the ante with regard to criminal referrals will create consequences, and consequences, frankly, I think will dictate actions. So I encourage you to look at that. I have given you a copy of the exceptions to the registration requirements that the Commission over the years has created by rule. I would urge you to look at those exceptions and see if they can be tightened up. For example, the one that's highlighted for you is 34.5.4. I believe that's overly broad. I believe it creates an unnecessarily large loophole for those that don't want to have to register on administrative matters. You look at the preamble to that section, I believe it could stand some work. But I believe there are things the Commission can do to tighten up the law with regard to registration for those that choose not to do it. And finally, I believe that the Commission can address by rule some of the clarity that we need in the law so people will know whether they should register to lobby or not. Our organization is supporting legislation to enact what was in the Sunset Bill last session that puts your 5% rule, the preparatory time rule, into the statute. It codifies it. At the same time, it translates 5% rule to 26 hours so that we would have a standard that we would know what it is. You can do that by rule. You can change 5% to 26 hours. You can look at goodwill that are in opinions and you can put that in the rules, should you choose to do so. I think clarity and understanding by the public is really important. I'm not going to win any popularity contests, obviously, with what we're proposing, but we think that we all have to do our part to change things if we're going to get past our frustrations with a system that isn't working very well. I'm delighted to be in a forum where you can't ask me questions, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Gallahorn. The last